I was leaning forward to either put the key in the lock or pull it out of, and as I did that, I was struck a very, very severe blow on the right side of the head. When I was out of the car, they handed me her car keys, and at that time, it broke me up completely. I couldn't go on with it at all, because I then realized from holding her keys that she had not been dead when she was taken out of the car and flung into the ditch. She was still alive.
I think one of her first comments was that she felt an intense pain to the right side of her head. And then the other impression was water and a bridge and an airport. And then one of the last impressions was that of a horse, or something to do with a horse.
The clarity of Bevy's vision compelled her to personally take up the search. She reasoned that the best place to begin was the locale that most closely matched her psychic impressions. Bevy began to search the 10-square-mile area of Babbler State Park, just northwest of St. Louis. She was accompanied by her husband Ray and psychic student Jim Mueller. At first, the idea of penetrating such a vast and wild tract of land seemed hopeless.
Hey, Ray. Hey, Jim, come here a minute. I feel some kind of pull out in that direction. Not right here, but like way over, what's down there. Can we get there from here?
Yes, roundabout, but we can get there.
Well, okay. Well, I think that's right. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
An inexplicable force inside Bevy's body seemed to pull her in a definite direction. She had no idea what she would discover in the thick underbrush of Babbler State Park. As Bevy, Ray, and Jim followed the psychic trail, they began to notice significant clues that corroborated the mental images Bevy had received in Sally Lucas' car. A small airport called the Spirit of St. Louis was less than 2 miles away. The Babbler riding stables, then the road sign, Wild Horse Creek, intersecting Highway C. Could this have been the seed that kept appearing in Bevy's notes? A row of pillar mailboxes confirmed that she was heading in the right direction. And then, the final clue, one that came chillingly close to her psychic vision.
Now, there's a bridge up ahead. Maybe that's the place we ought to stop. But the creek looks like it's crossing the road. Just pull on past the bridge. Maybe we ought to look this place over here. My notes were full of letter C's and things like that. Horses' heads. There was also a small bridge. And there were some pillar-type mailboxes, the kind you find out in the country. So finally we stopped the car and we got out and we decided that this area looked so right we might as well just look a little closer. The terrain just looked right. It felt right. We started to tramp around a little bit. I can't explain that exactly, but there was a feeling in the body somewhere that there was something, and it was not far. It was almost as if my body was a magnetic needle, and it was seeking. It was honing in on a certain direction.
The date was September 4th, 1971. They searched until the light became too dim to see any longer. Bevy was sure she was within a hair's breadth of finding the body and planned to return to the site the next morning. But the following day, a torrential rainstorm hit St. Louis and prevented Bevy from continuing her search. 2 days later, Mrs. Lucas' body was washed out of a gully in Wild Horse Creek. The body was less than 150 feet from where Bevy Yeagers had been searching.
Well, it was about a day or two after we had found the body and had processed the scene and everything like that. And it came to me right then. I said, my God, everything she told us on that day in the car before we found Mrs. Lucas came true. The horse, which was Wild Horse Creek Road, the airport, which is close by, the water, and the bridge. And also, on the right side of her head, the skull was crushed. And these were not things she could have known anyway. I have no way of accounting for it in any way. It was just a total mystery to me how she could be that accurate.
What inexplicable force was it that compelled Bevy to search the ravines of Wild Horse Creek?
Sandy Franzak is an American girl from our city who was with a group of travel agents going down to Acapulco.
Bevy and the Psychic Rescue Squad are continuing their casework on a national level. They feel they are moving closer to solving the case of the missing travel agent.
Yes, in their search of the beach that they feel is Sandy's, but it hasn't been 100% identified by her roommate as having been what she had on when she left.
It is not inconceivable that the role of the psychic detective could have major consequences for law enforcement in the United States. If the technique of using ESP to pinpoint crime and ferret out criminals can be developed on a broad and practical scale, it may become a deterrent to anyone contemplating a criminal act. This, it seems, may not be beyond the power of the mind.